She knew he was watching her. That was clear from the messages she'd hidden, desperate, encrypted, and taped beneath a loose floorboard in her bedroom closet. Erin Whitmore, the cheerful high school teacher everyone loved, had been living in quiet terror. To the world, she was steady and kind, always smiling, always offering help. But behind that smile, she knew something was wrong. She felt it in the hallway, at night, in the creak of a door she swore she had closed, in the silence that followed the barking of her dog, and in the way she sometimes woke up with a feeling that she hadn't been alone. That last message, sent at 10:52 a.m., just minutes before she died, still haunts the case. He's here, and then nothing. When police found her, lying face up on the floor between her bedroom and front door, the house was perfectly sealed, locked from the inside. No broken windows, no signs of forced entry. Her coffee had gone cold on the counter. Her phone, her known phone, sat untouched. It looked like she had simply collapsed. Quiet, alone, but the autopsy said otherwise. Someone broke her neck, not by accident, with precision, the kind of twist that requires strength, practice, intent. But how did they get in? More importantly, how did they get out? At first, suspicion fell on Ryan Kellerman, her ex-boyfriend. Erin had once called him a switch flip kind of angry. He had a history, 2 restraining orders, GPS trackers, spoofing apps, surveillance, the kind of tech-savvy stalker who could erase his own footprints. But Ryan was in Denver the day Erin died. Credit card receipts, airport footage, hotel check-ins. The timeline was tight. Too tight, maybe. So detectives moved on. Then came the hidden phone, the one no one knew Erin had. It wasn't connected to her service plan, and it had only one contact saved. R. At first, investigators assumed it stood for Ryan, but it didn't. R was Rachel Brooks, Erin's former college roommate and longtime friend. She hadn't spoken to police, said they had fallen out of touch, but her messages told the real story. They had been talking for weeks, secretly, and Erin had been confiding in her. He was outside the bathroom. I changed the locks again. The dog is barking at the same corner. I think someone is living in the house. That last one didn't sit right. Not until Rachel said, in one recovered message, "Check the attic. I'm serious. You know what I heard." So police did, and what they found sent a chill through the entire investigative team. The insulation in the attic showed pressure marks, fresh ones, footprints, maybe, or the shape of knees. Someone had been up there recently. Someone had been crouched in the insulation above Erin's bedroom, watching, listening, living. The drywall above her bedroom closet had been patched, not professionally, sloppily, like someone had opened a crawl hole, then tried to cover their tracks. There was no camera, no fingerprints, just disturbance, evidence that, for some period of time, someone had been inside her walls. And the attic wasn't the only thing that gave them pause. The back door, the one that was chained from the inside, showed faint scratches on the latch. A forensic tech noticed it on her third visit. They were fresh, curved, and consistent with bypass tools, the kind used by locksmiths or maintenance contractors, like Thomas Greaves. He lived just a few houses down. Quiet, divorced, kept to himself. Told police he barely knew Erin. Just waved on garbage day. But footage from a neighbor's camera showed his school district van parked across from her house days before the murder. He never knocked, never got out, just sat there. The van belonged to the school. And missing from the school's tool inventory, a specialized kit used for opening stuck doors. Checked out under Greaves' name. Returned just after police found Erin's body. He said it was an accident. Said he signed it out for another job and forgot. But how do you forget being accused of murder? Gatsby, Erin's dog, was another piece of the puzzle, one most people ignored. He was found barking, pacing, dehydrated. But days later, during a vet follow-up, his behavior triggered a red flag. The dog reacted violently toward men in baseball caps. Greaves wore one every day. A navy blue Rockford Heights baseball cap. Neighbors confirmed it. Video confirmed it. And though circumstantial, it left a dark impression. Still, the evidence wasn't enough to make an arrest. No DNA, no clear fingerprints, no weapon, no confession. Just fear, just silence, just a perfect crime. One theory remains, that Erin's killer wasn't a stranger. It wasn't her ex. It wasn't her neighbor. It was someone she let in, someone she once trusted, someone who had time to understand her routines, who knew how to get inside, who knew exactly when and how to strike. Or worse, someone who was already inside. Maybe Erin wasn't being watched from outside the house. Maybe she had been living with her killer for weeks. The attic, the noises, the moved objects, the strange behavior of her dog, the fear in her voice, the hidden phone, the frantic messages. It all points to one horrifying idea. She knew. She felt it. She tried to warn someone, and no one listened. Now the house on Lyndale Avenue is quiet. It's been sold twice. New tenants never last. They complain of scratching in the walls, soft footsteps overhead, a dog's faint bark that no one can trace. And the killer? Still unknown, still walking free. So here's the final question. What would you have done if you were Erin? If your dog barked at nothing? If you heard footsteps in the ceiling? If the people around you said it was just your imagination? Would you have fought harder? Moved away? Told someone louder? Or would you have died whispering the same two words she did? He's here.